Welcome back to the Sarah Ladies podcast, where we talk about real estate, representation, and rewriting the rules of wealth. I'm your host, Anita Wong, real estate investor, syndicator, and co-founder of Give Rise Capital.
And I'm Ashley Cow, commercial mortgage lender, investor, recovering tech employee, and your co-host.
So this episode is extra special to me because this week that we're going to be airing this episode, I'm actually supposed to be giving birth to my second daughter. And so I'm just really humbled to have our guest, Snowie Xu, here as a guest to talk about family and syndication. And, I think in multifamily, especially in Texas, which is, I think, where I first met Snowie, I've seen her mostly around conferences. I think Ashley was saying earlier that we've actually never had a quiet conversation together because we're always screaming above like 100 men in blue suits. And so, but Snowie is so incredibly hard to miss because, and again, in the sea of like white men in Texas, she's the one that is wearing unapologetically a cheapao. And it's so beautiful. It's so awesome because it kind of feels like, she came like armored. She came to battle, and she's like wearing her cultural dress. And I think that was just so amazing. And, to see her and then to learn about her and her company that her husband and her have founded, Zach, their portfolio is just incredible. And they have a really great reputation. And since we've been friends, I'm friends on Facebook, I've always really admired her because she's always really been transparent with everything. While most people in multifamily have been just a lot of fluff and, I can, about all the marketing stuff that they do, Snowie says it like it is. I think I remember a series of recent posts where you had like a fire happen through like one of your properties. And, she just, tells it like it is. And I think it's so rare in multifamily. So I'm just really excited that you're here, Snowie. Welcome.
Yes. Hi, Anita and Ashley. Thank you for having me here for sure, right? I met Anita in person about more than a year ago, right? And I was incredible. I feel like so impressive that when she brought the little baby with her to a conference, that's exactly how I was doing about more than 11 years ago. My second daughter, she was just like 15 months old, and I was pregnant with another one on my belly. I took them to all the conferences. So I remember Anita really well the first time I met her in person.
I was the only one with the baby at that conference.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I would say, I feel like Snowie was so welcoming. She was like, "Oh my goodness, you brought your baby." I was like, everyone else was so awkward around me. I was like, they had no idea what to say. And I think that's just a distinction, I feel like, coming up to women in multifamily. So I really appreciate you saying that, Snowie. That was a hard trip.
Yeah, I was there, right? So I knew it's not easy. I like right now when I look back at those time again, and I feel like our baby was a business card to ourselves too. So it's so funny. Like sometimes I met some of the investors now, and they were like, "Oh, how old is your baby?" They still remember those times that you brought the baby to all the conferences or even to the property tours, right? I did that. We brought our babies to the property tours as well. So they remember that really well. And they feel like me when I saw you the first time, like so impressive that you brought your baby with you.
I love that. That's awesome. I think that's, I don't have kids yet, but I think that's very courageous for both of you to be able to just, own your thing and maybe to wherever you need to go to get things done and still be a great mother and stuff. So, well, I want to just kind of give a little bit of background on Snowie. So Snowie is the co-founder of A Strategy with her husband, Zach Foodman. They've sponsored over 4,000 multifamily doors as general partners and key principals, and they currently manage over 3,600 units across Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, and Texas with a dedicated team of 100 professionals. So that's a pretty big achievement. I mean, you guys are across different states. You guys have a big team. So I definitely congratulate you for growing your business to the level it is right now. And, Snowy, you've built something extraordinary, not just a company, but a family alongside it. So can you share a bit about your background, your family, and your journey into multifamily investing?
Yeah, sure. So when we just started, I actually was a stay-home mom for almost like 6 years, more than 5 years at that time. And then my husband, Zach Fuchman, he still had a W-2 job. At that time, my daughter was 5.5, but she already moved with us to different states, even different countries 7 times. Can you imagine that? So at that time, we were like, oh, there must be another way for us to be like, we have the courage to decide if we want to move with our kids that frequently or not, right? So we had to figure out a way, but at that time, because I was a stay-home mom for so many years and with 2 kids, and I didn't know what I could do. I actually did, before my second child, I found a part-time job that I could work 7 hours or 6 hours a day, but I had to send my oldest daughter to a daycare. She hated that. She cried every day, so I had to give up. And then I didn't know what else I could do to be able to be with them and then build my own career or business. And then when our second daughter came, and we just moved back to Texas from Canada, and we were closing our primary resident house, and then I asked the realtor. She was so professional and she was so strong, and then I asked her, "Can I learn from you, or I work for you? Then I like to get into real estate." And when she saw my 2 little young kids there, she was like, "Your kids are so young. I don't think it's a good time for you to start your career or job. It's hard. You have a 5-year and a 1 year." So I quit to become a realtor. And then me and Zach were trying the other way, just how can we get some other stream of incomes to support us if we didn't want to move anymore, because it was so hard, especially that time. Before that, my daughter just made some friends about 2 years for 2 years, and then she already started school, and she was so upset when we had to move again. So we were looking, and then we didn't find any other way until one day we heard about multifamily investment, real estate investment, and I was like, okay, probably this would be the way that we could do, because we saw other people just like Zach, like me, they built their wealth through real estate, through multifamily, and we just immediately jumped into, and I also decided to sell our primary resident house that we just closed about 2 months, less than 2 months ago, and say, okay, let's get all of the fund we could have to invest in real estate so we can get a little bit more financial freedom than what we had at that time, and we can decide if we didn't like the offer the company offered, or transfer to anywhere we didn't like, we can say no. So that's how we started. And then later on, we just sold the house and then sold the stock anywhere. Even we got money from the 401k just to invest. And then at that time, we were so busy. After we started, I got pregnant with our third one. I was going to all the renovation site. I went to Home Depot, Lowe's to get material to get the renovation done, to rent those rental properties all by myself. And I remember I was still working the day, both of my third and fourth child, I was still working the day before the delivery. And that's how we achieved from there. And we had all our kids when they were after school or Sunday or over the weekends or vacation. We had them to clean the house, clean the apartments, even tear up the carpets, move out the trash left by the resident. So they all work at the apartments a lot of times, yeah. And we also got our family, my sister's family, my brother's family, into real estate as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And it sounded like it began as a family affair from the beginning, where it's like from the womb, you're going to be a real estate investor.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to be working on these properties and all that stuff. And, I can definitely see how the two worlds are just intertwining from the beginning. And, really just you had to do what you had to do to make it work. Yeah. And, I think I saw in a Facebook post that you shared that just weeks after giving birth, you were already back at your renovation site. So, the baby was strapped to you and you were still managing tenants and contractors. So can you just take us back to that moment? Like, what was driving you to keep showing up even when most people probably wanted to slow down, especially having kids already and then a newborn and everything like that?
Right, exactly. I remember when I was pregnant with my third and then my fourth, right? I heard some people say like, why don't you just wait? Just have your baby first and then continue on your business or your investments. But I really didn't feel like, I feel like where or when is the perfect time. There would not be any time it would be called perfect if I just keep waiting. And, if I missed the chance or I stopped, I didn't know when I would get back again. So I just keep continue no matter if I was pregnant on the third or the fourth. And I remember, like you just said, I went back to the renovation of the property already when my baby was about 1 week old. And I went to check on the progress of the renovation. I went to talk with the contractor just to make sure things are going on the right path. And that didn't stop me. On the pregnancy of my fourth child, I was working on a 44 unit that we were under contract with. We were doing the due diligence and went through all of the unit 4 days before I gave delivery to him. And a lot of contractors and also the investors who went to do the due diligence with us, they were joking like, we were wondering if we would have the baby today on site while we were working on the unit, because I was climbing up and down, the 2 stories. So I had to climb up and down to all the stairs and went into all the units that we were able to get into. So that didn't stop me. And I know it's hot. Anita, I can feel right now exactly, right? It's tired and you want it to stop. Your spirit maybe just keep telling you like, now you need to go, but your body probably also tell you like, you maybe need to stop, you need to slow down now. But if you don't continue, then I guess it's hard like to keep yourself going forward.
Yeah, I feel like you just have the momentum.
Yes, yes, exactly.
And like you also like it's really hard to it's really difficult to get into a multifamily period, and you don't want to make anyone feel that you're going to stop for any reason, because the opportunity zone is just so narrow, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like you're investing in single family. There are so many sources around available that you can just pick one easily. For multifamily, there's not so many deals in the market, and especially for a good deal, they're even rare, right? So if you miss this chance, you maybe need to wait for another half year or a year to find a good deal to start. So it's hard to like stop us from like, okay, you are pregnant. I know it's not easy, but then when would you get the next chance if you miss this one? That's the question.
Yeah, it's all different kinds of hard. It'll never be a time where it's gonna be better or easier.
Right.
Just different. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so Snowy, I love the story because I see it in what Anita's doing right now too.
Yeah.
And Anita and I have been working on a whole bunch of different things this past year while she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you ever tired? Just like she never looks phased, and she never looks like, I was like, are you pregnant? Because you're acting like you're not pregnant right now. And so I just, again, I'm just so like in awe of both of you to be able to just do all of this, be a mother and then also run your business so well. So, and so to that point, especially in the industry, did you ever feel the pressure to prove that, your pregnancy or motherhood wouldn't get in the way of doing business, with your colleagues or your business partners or whatnot?
So I think there is some, right? But my colleague would be easier. My partner is actually always like Zach most of the time, and our partners doing like deals together, like the other GP partners. They're pretty, because most of them, they are also married. They have kids, even though most of them, I would say, they are male, and we also have the female partners with us too. So they all have kids mostly, and they really understand about like, okay, as a woman, it's already more difficult to have your own career or your business, and pregnancy sometimes would also slow you down or stopping you doing something. But I think they are also supportive, and that matters too. And the support from your family also help you a lot too. I'm sure like Anita already got support from your family. I got support from my family, my parents, my sister's family, my brother's family as well.
Yeah, it truly takes a village. I totally see why they call it that now. It's I think I also really learned about like even the way that they used to raise families. It's literally within the village, right?
Right, exactly.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I literally can't build this company without all the family members, not just my partner. I mean, my partner, it does a lot.
Yeah.
But man, it would have just never come to be.
I agree. Me and Zach always talk about like we wouldn't be able to do this without my parents, my my sister's family, my brother's family, all the support from them. We were saying like maybe we could do 20% of what we've done so far if we had to do all just him and me, and then with the kids. It's so impossible.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I've shared this, but actually my parents have equity in my company.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Because I felt that so much of like they're raising my kid, so I can do things like that, and it just felt like a natural part of, not that like they ever asked, but gave them equity because they were so integral in building the company.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Zach, we always said that we are building our financial freedom through real estate. Then also my mom and my dad's, their financial freedom is from us because they are helping us raising the kids, helping us to do everything that we need. Even sometimes me and Zach had to go travel somewhere together, and they're here helping us 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like you guys said, it takes a village, and with the village, obviously everyone has a different role and,
Sure.
and different responsibility. And you said earlier that you walked a property maybe like 4 days before delivering baby number 4.
Yes.
So what made you decide that you had to be the one to get up and walk that every unit of that 44 apartment community that you had under contract?
Well, so me and Zach were the syndicator, right? We are the GP, then we have to responsible for everything that we including the deal, including the due diligence and everything after that. So I just want to make sure that I was there to do my job, to do my due diligence, and I didn't want to miss anything that I didn't know. I knew Zach was there, but I would like to get involved myself as well. I feel more comfortable if I work all the units myself, and I might miss something, but better than I was not there, and then I will find some surprise later. So that's what I saw, that because that's part of my responsibility to be a syndicator, to be a GP.
What did Zach say to you at that time?
I mean, because we've done once before, right? I was third one, so that was like pretty usual for him already when we had to do that the second time.
So you're like, she knows her body. She knows like when she's about to pop, and she'll
Right.
say no if she doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, now's my second. I totally understand that. It's like, you're more used to the feeling. But I was like, when I was like first, I was like panicking. I had no idea.
No, actually, and I feel like so excited. That was our second multifamily syndication, and you knew when you are working for yourself, you're working for your financial freedom, and you know what you need to do or what you have to do to achieve financial freedom. I feel like I was so excited. I didn't feel like, I didn't want to do that, or I feel tired of doing that. My spirit was like so hyper. That's how I felt. Even today, if I have to do something related to real estate, I am always so excited that I can get involved.
That's awesome. It's a great signal of that you're kind of in the right place, right? Because
Right.
you're still excited by your work, even though it's like, I think in a regular W-2, if anyone called you out to do anything 4 days before delivering it, they would surely be sued. But but you're working for yourself. You're doing that for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So going through my own pregnancy, I think I've just realized how strong women are on just a deeper level. And I think it's really motivated, myself to be in this space, because it just seems ridiculous that there's so many women that think that they can't do it, when I have seen, just what we are designed and built for. It's just even the pursuit of pregnancy, the approach, even just wanting a family, the fertility process, even and let alone the pregnancy and delivery and having the kids itself part. Like, it just takes so much mental, physical, emotional strength. And I think we're constantly told, you can't pour from an empty cup, but yet somehow women keep building new cups every time. So I want to hear from you, like, what did motherhood reveal to you about your own capacity? And what would you say to women who feel like they have to choose between growing a family and growing a career?
So I think, like, for the women that they don't have any help from other than their spouse, it's pretty difficult to do so. So if they got help like us, we are both so lucky that we got help from our family, right? So it will be a little bit easier, but for the ones that they don't have any help, I think we need, like, probably they need to have the right mindset that what they want to choose, right? If they want to just choose to have just the kids, then they have to sacrifice their business, their career. So, and I know a lot of women out there, they like to choose both. When we choose both, we choose the kids, family, and also our career, our business, then we need to build our mental more strong. Because I know there are a lot of frustrating moments while we were taking care of the kids, at the same time that we had to take care of the business or our career. It's hard. So I feel like it's hard to balance that. So when we had to do both together, then we probably need to sleep less. And then, because otherwise we only have 24 hours if we need to sleep at the same time while we didn't have any kids while we're developing our career or business, then it's not possible. So it's hard, but I think the support from the spouse is really important too, right? So if they could get the support from the spouse, then we could do a little bit better. And I know it's hard to just tell yourself, don't give up, just walk one more step, it will get closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like I get that question all the time. How do you balance having a career and doing all this stuff? I'm like, well, well, first of all, I'll tell you how to do it is don't date crappy people. Let's start there. Because I was just like, I have no idea. It's like, what? I feel like there's a lot of, sometimes there's women that, like you just date men that don't chip in. Or it's not even just about that, right? It's just like they have their own, like they feel like, family is yours. That's your territory. But that's not the case, right? Yeah. And I think like having a good partner, not just to fill you and receive you in your gaps, that's just the number one thing, truly. Because if someone is not willing to do that, how are you going to build a career? How are they going to have a career?
Right.
And also say it's never 50-50 either. No, there's a lot of days that it's like, I'm on 0 and he has to come in 100,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like I'm at 70 and he's at the fill in his 30. It's like, are you going to have a person that you can have, a push and pull with so that your kids get that 100%?
Yeah, exactly. I think like you're right, the partner, right? So I feel like your partner, they also need to support you, like taking care of the kids too while they can, and also mentally support you as well, because you have frustrations, you always have, because all kinds of situations would happen to you, to your investment, to your property. And I think as a woman, sometimes we need to talk to somebody. And your spouse, your partner, would be the person that you can talk to most of the time, especially sometimes like something you probably don't feel comfortable to talk to the other people. And your spouse should be able to listen to you. Sometimes just listening would be like the bonus or the prize to us, to make us to be able to feel like, okay, I can still keep going on, I can still walk on, I can I can take more steps for my business, for my career. So I feel like your spouse or your partner is so important to your career, to your business as well.
Yeah, definitely. And also, when you were just saying that village too, right? It's like that, how, you can't just be all for each other you can't expect the other person to be all of the things, right?
Right. And
like that's why you have friends, you have family, you have like other partners, like like how does everyone help fill your cup as much as they can?
Right. So it's so important. And then also sometimes I think maybe some of the stuff that we couldn't do, and we need people to help us. For example, our partner, our spouse. I remember like when we did that 44 unit, it's so small, right? So we were not able to afford a full-time manager, a full-time leasing, or a full-time maintenance. I was the one doing everything, not all the job that I had to do for the maintenance, but my husband Zach, he had to be the part-time maintenance as well. And then I remember like there were so many nights, like because it's a 60s building, and there would be a lot of plumbing issue, leaking, stuff like that. So I had to wake him up maybe midnight or 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Hey, please get up, let's go. Or you go to the property, let's go to stop the leaking, or the backup from the toilet. That's what we had to do. Yeah, I was able to be the manager, the leasing assistant. I was the cleaning lady. I sometimes even help on the painting, but I didn't know how to do some of the plumbing issues. Well, it's like emergency call from the resident, and he had to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I don't have a question about we guys are in business together and have such a big family together. How do you guys approach fighting?
Well, yeah, there were moments like that too, right? So I think like our fighting sometimes, most of the time, I would say it's related to the how we handle stuff on the properties, or the management, and then sometimes I think the other part is about the kids, the education of the kids, right? That's our fights for. We don't have any fights like because we work the real estate exactly, like we both work on the same field, and we are facing most of the time we're facing the same people, including our management team there. So sometimes like that's mostly if we fight for those issues. So, well, he's more calm. I think I'm more like emotional. so I think at least somebody need to be more calm during like the fights like this, especially related to the business. So I feel like sometimes that I let him handle some of the stuff, but then now, like especially on the management side, he let me handle that part, and he get involved more on like looking for deals, networking with the brokers, including the real estate brokers, financing brokers, insurance, everything like that. So I get involved more into the management side. So I guess like in this case, if any couples work together, they probably could put a list on what you can do and what he can do, right? So that might help quite a lot to avoid too many fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we call it like you're the CEO of your own area, right?
Yeah.
like you need to have some independence and control about like the parts that you're in control of. I also call him like the CEO of garbage because my husband takes the garbage out, so I say he's the CEO of recycling too. But I think it's incredibly important to have your partners or whoever it is to have some autonomy and decision and independence and in making the decision, and also you just offering that trust wholeheartedly, right?
Yeah. And then I'm sure like each person have different characters or personalities or you have different abilities to handle things better than the others. So just focus on the ones that we are able to do better and let him or the other part to do the others that we are not good at.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to go back and kind of touch base on, cultural expectations. And, because when I was pregnant my first, I think, when I was pursuing my first property, my first deal, 76 units, I was just finished being pregnant at the time.
Oh.
And I think my Asian family, also Chinese, was like, it wanted me to slow down. I constantly felt like they were telling me to stop pursuing what I was working towards. And there was like this sort of underlying tone of, you are going to be a bad mom if you keep pushing yourself to do the things that you're doing. Did you ever feel that, especially when you are so wholeheartedly embracing your Chinese cultural heritage, and it's such a place where the woman is in charge of the family, in charge of the household, and just how do you choose between those two?
So, okay, let me ask you. I don't know if you have the cultural background from your family that they want you, like my parents, right? They would like me to stay at home after you give the birth to a baby at least 1 month. That's a culture from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan too. That some place even they would like the new mom, or after they give birth to the babies, stay at home inside the house for 2 months. And I remember, like Ashley just said, that I went to the property already 7 days after the delivery, or after I gave the birth to a baby, and they didn't like that. They were not happy about that. It's like, you shouldn't do this, like it's not good for you. And then I was like, I feel okay, and I feel like nothing wrong when I went out. I just keep myself warm, and I didn't get myself sick, stuff like that. So I was okay to do that. But my mom and my dad, even though they were not so happy about that, but they were very supportive too. And then on my fourth one, because the property is about like 50 to 60 minutes driving from where we live and to the property, and I had to take the baby with me each day to work. I left home maybe 7 o'clock, and I came home maybe 7 or 8 o'clock just to get stuff done, because the first 90 days there were so many stuff to do after the acquisition, right? So I had no choice. I had to do that. And Zach had a job still at both of our fourth and the third child. So I was the only one to be in charge of that. And then my parents were taking care of the kids. And I think they were a little bit more open to that, and then also try their best to support me to do that. All they worry about just like, oh, maybe your body couldn't take that because that was a lot of work. You just give the birth to the babies, right? So that's what they concern mostly. And then because at that time we had 2 or 3 kids already, other than the baby that we just give birth. I think it's hard just like to balance that. You spend so much time on the property or on the operation, but then there are the other kids, they also need some attention from you as well. So that's the hard part, especially when you just give the birth to a new baby, and then the one above that one, they probably feel like, oh, so upset that mommy just got the new baby, and then she also didn't stay at home that much, that they feel probably upset. And that, I think that just like make me feel upset too sometimes. You feel like, oh, I wish that I I would be able to stay home with them a little bit more, because I feel like they needed you or they wanted your attention, especially after you just give the birth to a new baby. It's hard. So I think as a mom that we can only try our best to pay attention, to give more time to the kids. At the same time, we also need to focus on our business.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, I feel like I deal with that as well. I think the difference between showing your kids that, you know, how that they can build a business versus being physically with them.
Yeah.
And I think they don't understand it at the time because all they see it and hear is that you're not there.
Right. Even now, I like my second daughter, or there's three younger ones, but they are 12, 10, and the other one just turned 8. So they don't understand that very well. They sometimes would be like, oh, why do you have to go somewhere that much, this and that? So we had to explain to them, like, we need to take care of the business. We're also trying to build our wealth, build our financial freedom, so we could be better or feel a little bit more comfortable in the future. But we also try our best to spend more time with them, to stay home more. And especially after we work for ourselves, we are a little bit more flexible, right? So if we could, we just send them to school. I mean, my dad like to send them to school to pick them up, but we try our best to send them to school to pick them up and then spend weekends with them. But it's hard. It's hard. I know it's not easy. So I remember this morning or yesterday, my second daughter, she was still like, why do you have to spend, like, go to the conference or go to the event that much? Actually, this year I didn't go that much already, but they still don't feel that way. I feel like to them, we still missing some of the weekends or, some of those days at home with them. My sister, I was 16 years old. She understands that very well now, because and then also because she's doing, I think probably maybe when they turn maybe 15, 16. I hope, because that's how our oldest one changed her mindset to understand us more after she became 15, 16. But the younger one, they still don't feel that way. So I guess it takes time, and we also need to be the example to them too, that we can do it and we need to show up. We need to try our best to do the stuff that we need to do. That's what we can do. I mean, we can spend all the time with them. Don't leave them, spend every day with them. But then, I don't know, what would that turn out, right? They might be able to understand in the future, or when they grow up, they may be like, would ask us the question like, why you didn't go to do something else, just other than us. So I guess what we just need to, as a mom, we just need to make a decision. Like, we need to put our time in a few buckets. For us right now, we divide our time into 2 buckets: the kids and our career, our business.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, you made some really good points today. And so, Snowie, we're coming towards the end of the time, but I really just wanted to thank you for such a powerful conversation. I think, as I mentioned, you had some really good points. And I think the first point that you made was, there's never a perfect time.
Exactly.
And I think that's so important to remember. It's like, you can't just wait for the perfect time to make things happen.
Yeah, I agree. So actually, after I met you this month, right? We are still October, sorry. Feel like it's about last month already, Anita. So I met you at Old Capital Conference, And then last month, I met another pregnant woman. She was pregnant with her third child, and she was showing up at the event too. So you and her like really reminded me so well about the time when I experienced that. I actually make a short video about that. So I'll show you that video when my assistant got it done. I just feel like, oh my, that's like so impressive to me. And I feel so touched that people like us, like Anita, we show up. We do whatever it takes or whatever it needs us to do. So we don't give up. We don't just slow down just because of the pregnancy. We still go anywhere we need to go. We do whatever we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I'm grateful to you. What is it saying? It's like I can only see far because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I feel like it's, to me, it's like saying, it's like I only can see that far because people like you have done it already. It's like 4 kids and 3,000 units. Like it's whatever. I only have one. I don't have that many units either. So I feel like I'm looking at up the mountain and I'm seeing you guys there, and so I thank you for just helping. People like me just pave the path for people like me.
Right.
So.
Thank you. I mean, I like to see all the women, like pregnant women especially, show up to any of the events, because that's a great example for all the women, not just me, but all the other women as well. No matter how we can do it, then they can do it as well, right? So it's so important to be the example.
Yeah. And hopefully our daughters see it one day too, and I think that's what keeps me showing up every time.
Yeah, I agree.
So before we end, so I want you to remember that woman, the one that was walking the United States before bringing new life into the world. What do you hope for the next class of Asian women in multifamily see in her history about endurance and possibility?
Well, I think including you, Ashley, me, and other women, all the Asian women, all kinds of women that we just show up to set the examples for the other. And they will see, and then we will inspire a lot of more other women together to this, to all kinds of industries, not just in real estate. And I'm sure we can do it. We can make it more different.
Love that. Yeah. And Snowie, for our listeners who want to know more about a strategy and the projects that you're looking to fund, how can they find you?
So they can find me on our website, a-strategy.com, or they can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube as well. So my YouTube channel is called The Apartment Empress.
Love that.
And then I have an English channel. It's called Multifamily Playbook. I just started, so I don't have too many videos there, but I'm trying to get more videos there.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if this episode resonated, share it with a friend and hit follow. We'll see you next time on the Sarah Ladies podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita.
Thanks,
Thank you, Ashley. Bye, everybody. Bye.